Welcome back to EKSE, the biggest, baddest, most hip and happening show in the mother city. Of course, my name is Kim Blanchet, and you are still tuned into channel 263 on DSTV. Right now, we are on the yellow couches with Jamal Grant. We actually chatted to him last week, and today we'll be chatting to him again and picking up from where we stopped last week about filmmaking, but we'll also be chatting about the hashtag Black Lives Matter. As you know, that is a buzzing word right now, and everybody in the US, in South Africa as well, is definitely up in arms. And you know, we're saying enough is enough, and racism needs to come to an end. Institutional racism needs to come to an end. And yeah, Jamal is going to chat to us a bit about that. But if you are enjoying the show, please give us a call on 021 448 0448. Or on Twitter, we are EKSE_live. On Facebook, we are EKSE on Cape Town TV. Or you can email any content that you are making to ekse@capetowntv.org. Jamal, welcome to EKSE.
Thank you.
Well, oh, I should say welcome back because you actually were here. So Jamal,
You're
let's
welcome.
just touch on filmmaking again. As we know, you were a lead filmmaker for the Ase Research Film Project. What actually made you fall in love with filmmaking?
Yeah, so I actually always joke that I don't have any film creative ability. I was never a good artist, never had any artistic ability, at least so I thought. But what part of the impetus behind the film was really trying to learn from another nation who has had similar histories of oppression. Obviously, very different than the U.S. and South Africa, but there's also many similarities. So, being frustrated with some of the things that we see in the U.S., the ways that we have not economically empowered our historically disenfranchised groups, we wanted to see how South Africa dealt with that. But it was actually never supposed to be a film. It was supposed to just be a research project. We'd probably visit, come and interview people, not on camera, but we didn't know anybody in South Africa. So I'd ask around to my network, do you know anybody in South Africa? Like, do you know any historians we can connect with, academics? And people would say, no, I don't know anybody in South Africa, but that sounds like a cool project. I wish I could be there. I wish I could see this. I wish I could somehow experience this with you all. And that's when the idea came to perhaps bring cameras. So when we brought cameras, we thought we'd make a short, maybe 5-10 minute film. But we ended up getting, I think, between 16 and 20 hours of footage with amazing leaders, nonprofit leaders, people who have had political roles, I think, historically, activists. And we just decided that we realized that there was a full story here. And I'm an engineer by training. I'm used to showing data and charts. But when you're telling the story, it was a very emotional one for us. And not only were we learning about South Africa, as I mentioned last time, we were also learning about ourselves. And we realized that this really lent itself to a creative storytelling that talks about some of the complexities of race, power dynamics, and how much work still needs to be done both in South Africa and the US by way of empowering people of color and historically disenfranchised groups. So filmmaking is not really my thing, but this has been a super enjoyable process. And to be honest, we just kind of fell into it.
Yeah. And you're obviously touching on the fact that you actually have a BSc in mechanical engineering. And so my question again would be, why then, you know, cross over to something as I guess, adventurous as, you know, filmmaking and being a lead filmmaker? And how do those two fields intersect with each other?
For sure. So for me, engineering was always super fun, interesting, building things. But when I got to college, I realized there weren't many women and there weren't many minorities in science engineering. And on the surface, you'll just think, oh, well, maybe minorities aren't interested. It's far from the case. The issues surrounding education inequality, particularly in the US, are so vast that the way it manifests itself is not seeing people of color and women in some of these fields. So I spent a lot of time trying to understand what was at the root of the achievement opportunity gap. And then as I spoke about last time, it kind of got me into my work with the Net Mentoring Group, which is an organization I founded to get more young girls and minorities in science and engineering.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, that what is at the core of that is a pursuit of a truth about disparity that is not currently being spoken about, and trying to reconcile our past as a nation of, you know, built on racism. So the engineering, for me, it gave me a very technical way and a structured way of thinking and looking at problems. And I was just trying to apply it to the education space as I saw education as tools for economic mobility. However, education is very bureaucratic, at least in the United States. It's very hard to make change. You can make marginal change on the edges. So I wanted to get a little bit bigger and figure out how do you get closer to those economic issues if you can't rely on changing the school system
Yeah.
overnight. Even if we had the power to, you know, what exactly would we change it to?
Yeah.
So that led us to South Africa, where we were looking kind of for answers. So it wasn't really a direct line between the two, between engineering and filmmaking. But again, just seeking to tell a story, understand the roots of problems, and find ways to fix them. So the pursuit of knowledge is what's kind of led me to engineering, the nonprofit space, and now to filmmaking.
Yeah. And then earlier you actually touched on the similarities or differences between the US and South Africa. What do you think some of the similarities have been?
I think on a high level, it's really just the oppression of peoples, the taking of resources from one group uh, to provide for another group. Also the lasting effects of oppression. So even in the United States, I talk about this with people all the time. I mean, the a lot of people of color still lack access to resources and so on. Even though segregation is no longer legislated, it continues de facto, and you end up seeing cyclical poverty. And so I think that similarly, sometimes if you just look at the modern times, you'll say, oh, well, some groups are doing well and some groups are not doing well. You don't necessarily have answers for that, but you really have to dig into the history to see what system and governments have done to create these lasting effects of oppression. So I think those are some of the similarities, but there's some pretty significant differences. Black people in the United States are the minority versus South Africa, where Black people are the majority. We don't necessarily have, well, we don't have tribes in the U.S.
Yeah.
Although there's still, differences between Black immigrants versus Black Americans here and challenges there. So I think there's some pretty, large differences as well. But the systemic oppression is really what kind of ties us together.
And post-editing, where is this film done? And what is the name? And where will the film be? Will it be in film festivals? Will it be taking part in film festivals? Or will we see it on our TV screens? What's happening?
Yeah, so a term that we heard when we were out there that really became a part of our experience was Ubuntu. And so the title of our film was Ubuntu Rising. And we had a subtitle, 25 years since apartheid, but by the time the film's done, it will not necessarily have been 25 years. We might drop that piece, but Ubuntu Rising. And we're in contact with some film festivals. We're also going to try to see if we can get this on Netflix or PBS or HBO, wherever we can. This next year will really be the meat of the post-production process and developing the film. So we're expecting late 2021 as when the release date would be at its earliest. And we're hoping to get on as many platforms as possible to really tell our story and as much of the South African story as we feel comfortable and equipped to tell based off of our experience.
And for any young people who are watching who have an interest in filmmaking or actually just have an interest in philanthropy and really making a difference in their immediate society, what advice would you give them?
I would always begin with finding what questions you need answered. If you just look at, again, the world on its surface, you may not be asking the right question. You'll ask what might be right on the superficial level. But continue to ask and ask the people who know. So when I tried to understand education, I was meeting with education leaders, principals, teachers, getting as many perspectives as possible because there's no one person with the answer. Once you get there, I think it becomes easier to find out where you might be able to help. And mine happened to be maybe through the nonprofit entrepreneurship route. Some people might be in a different volunteer capacity. Some people might be their full-time job. So ask the questions to know what the problems can be, to support other people's efforts to make difference, but also to maybe track your own path. Secondly, if you ever feel discouraged discouraged from making an impact or trying a new entrepreneurial venture, ask yourself why not. When I spoke to people about South Africa, the answer to why not was, I don't know anybody there. I can do the research. I'm sure I can get a film crew together, but I don't know anybody in South Africa. And that's when I really had to start to dig into my network, do my due diligence, reach out to South African organizations, and see if anybody's willing to partner with us to help us build these relationships. So no matter what you do, it was the same thing with the nonprofit. Why can I not start a nonprofit? Found out those questions, tried to meet the right people to answer those things, did my due diligence by doing the research, and ultimately tried to pull something together that I thought could perhaps make an impact in people's lives.
Okay, we're going to take a quick breather and then we'll be right back. We'll chat about Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, and the general atmosphere in the US right now. We'll be right back, guys. Please don't go away.